Hi everyone, TARDIS Guy 123 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 4th Doctor story, Horror of Fang Rock. So this is from 1976 actually, I think. We'll check the back in a minute, but anyway, of course you've got BBC DVD there, BBC logo, because this is a rather old release, so they did that, and then the Doctor Who logo, Horror of Fang Rock. Then you've got a nice picture of Tom Baker there. You've got the Rutan scout ship flying through the sky, the lighthouse, and Fang Rock itself, which is where all this is set, and that's one of the lovely parts about the story. It's all set on that kind of like location. You know, it's very isolated, and that works very well. It's a not sure if I agree with that, but anyway, you know. And then Tom Baker years, of course. Then here you have your spine there. No To Entertain logo, because this is before that time. This is a very early release, and you know, the cover for a release this early is actually very well done, I think. And then on the back you have some set pictures there, and Doctor Who starring Tom Baker, Horror of Fang Rock. Got the synopsis there, and then you've got some of the special features. And there's a nice one about Terrance Dicks on here, I think. Yeah, Terrance Dicks Fact and Fiction, sorry. And that's a very nice documentary. They're just looking at the life and times of Terrance Dicks and mainly what he did for Doctor Who. Then on the inside, you have the same picture of Tom Baker, again that was on the cover, on both the booklet and the DVD. And let's take a look at the booklet itself. Of course, you have the stuff there on the sides. Then inside you have Louise Jameson, John Abbott, and Terrance Dicks as part of the commentary team. And today you've got some other nice stuff, special features. And on the back you have your chapter points and some information about playing your DVD. If you're interested in that sort of thing. Now the interminable question, will it stand when I let go? It's not looking that good. I'm just going to have to hold it again, like I did for the previous review, Remembrance of the Daleks, because that wouldn't stand it. Oh wait, this is real, this is actually happening, it is standing. Now onto my thoughts on the story. What a wonderful story this is. You know, it's so ingenious to have it just set in about 3 or 4 sets mainly. You got the light, you got the top of the lamp room and whatnot, and then you got the crew quarters, which is rarely used. You've got the main room, and you've got the boiler room and whatnot, and then you've got some stuff set outside, but mostly it's just those 3 rooms inside the lighthouse, which I mentioned earlier. And you know, it works wonderfully well for that. You know, it's very murder mystery type story, in a way, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Terrance Dicks wrote a wonderful story. Originally, he was writing, what's it called? Vampire Mutations, I think was the original name of the script. And because there was a Dracula adaptation going on at BBC at the time, they didn't want that to undermine it at all or anything like that. So they decided. So the BBC said no to the Vampire Mutation, and so Horror of Fang Rock came along, while the Vampire Mutation was held over, and later became State of Decay. A rather different story, but you know, you can still kind of like see it fitting in with this era of Doctor Who, in a way. But you know, of course you have Louise Jameson and Tom Baker here, and they do a wonderful job together. Given that there's limited sets, they are often together, and there's not much of them separate. And I think even one of the characters, Adelaide, actually says that Leela is tied to the Doctor on by a piece of string or something like that. And you know, that's almost true in a sense, because she is practically always with him for this story. But you know, that works out well, and there's a lot of good scenes with Leela in this. You know, obviously you have kind of like the typical idea that the companion is always the one who screams and whatnot. And you know, well, some people quite a lot of the time say that about classic Who. You know, this story is a story to disprove it, because you have Leela companion slapping another character for screaming, and you know, it's quite a funny scene actually when she does that to Adelaide and whatnot, and you know, you have the sighs and whatnot when she's fainting and screaming and whatnot, and characters dying, and you know, it very much is very good for her character, and of course those are some of the reasons why I really do love Leela as a character. She's a great companion, and you know, of course she got a lot of funny lines from Tom Baker. There's one where Leela's just destroyed a door, and he says the repair axe of whatever it is covers lighthouses, and Leela's just like, what? And then it's just like, never mind, just walks off. And you know, it's just little things like that make this Doctor so funny. And of course you have loads of big things as well that really do help, but it's the little things along the way that add to the experience. And you know, he's very blunt in this. It's not as bad as what's it called? It's not as bad as Experience Mars, that's it, where he's kind of like very serious, but you know, there's very much the idea that he's there to save their lives, not to have a friendly conversation with them in a way. And you know, that's kind of like the stuff I want from Peter Capaldi, this type of Doctor here, where he's making jokes and whatnot, but he's still very serious, and you know, sometimes ignoring people and whatnot, just for the greater good, really. And you know, it works quite well here with Tom Baker, I feel. It's kind of like, you know, obviously you have those stories where he does tend to send up the script a lot, but here, it's good. He is good in this, and you know, all the supporting characters are very strong in this. You know, you kind of like have hints of other things that, you know, don't really play into the story too much in terms of characters such as Skinsale and Lord Palmerdale, and they're kind of like, they've got a little subplot going on which doesn't really play into the main story, but just helps to make them feel like more well-rounded characters. It almost feels like Terrance Dicks is having a go at doing the Robert Holmes here by having really strong characters and whatnot. And that's not to say Terrance Dicks is ripping off Robert Holmes in any way, because I'm not sure about some of his other scripts and how strong the characterisation is there, but here, you know, if you didn't tell me the author's name and whatnot, and obviously if it wasn't in the credits, but I just watched this without knowing the author's name, I'd have probably said Robert Holmes, to be honest. But you know, Terrance Dicks nevertheless does a wonderful job with this, and it truly does shine a lot. It's nice to get that link back to the Sontarans, even though they're not actually in this. And you know, there's a funny story behind that, about which actually I think might be told on the documentary on the DVD, about how Terrance Dicks decided it'd be ironic to put the Routans in here, because, you know, he dragged Robert Holmes kicking and screaming into the Middle Ages to do a Sontaran story. So here, Robert Holmes gets his revenge by dragging Terrance Dicks kicking and screaming onto a lighthouse, which, unlikely enough, features the Sontaran's mortal enemy, the Rutan. And this is their only proper TV appearance, I believe. Which is odd, because they are a very good monster, but obviously they're overshadowed by the Sontarans, but nevertheless they are a very good monster. So I think that's all I've really got to say about this story. Rating wise, 10 out of 10, why not? It's a wonderful story. There are some impressive visuals as well. You know, maybe not impressive is the right word, but you know, kind of like clever visuals, where you got the Doctor hanging off the lighthouse window and whatnot. That's kind of like nice stuff. So yeah, overall, Horror of Fang Rock, wonderful story. If you haven't got it, I highly recommend you get it sometime soon, because you will not regret it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Next up will be the Rani Elite review. My copy of Dark Eyes 4 has now arrived, and I'll be reviewing that sometime after that, hopefully pretty soon, so look forward to that. And see you next time. Bye, everyone.